What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Final Thoughts live stream on a Tuesday. Getting the final thoughts out on a Tuesday here. I am heading to Vegas tomorrow, so I wanted to get this out to you guys. Not able to live stream on Friday, so yeah, early live stream this week. Got 4 bets already. We'll talk about all of those. My betting breakdown video will be out tomorrow. It would be out already, but the bookies are taking a while to get out these lines, so. The betting breakdown out tomorrow, and then I probably will add a bet or two throughout the week. So make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. I will be posting my final bets on Saturday. But yeah, it's been kind of a crazy week for me. I've been trying to get all my content done by the time I leave for my flight. So it's been a grind, but I was able to get it all done and ready to go. So what's up, everybody in the chat? Don't know how many people will show up on a Tuesday. Like I said, usually go on Friday, but the Dab Father just joined the Patreon. Anyone know how to get the Discord? Yeah, I sent you the link, Dab Father. It should be in your DMs on Patreon. What's up, Dustin? How you doing? Uncle Weezy says this is an underrated card. Can't wait to get into it. I'm with you, Uncle Weezy. I think it's a really good card. Should be fun, especially back in the Apex, back in the small cage. What's up, Thomas? Strickland, Rob, Reyes, fight doesn't go to decision. Let's get it. I like those. I like all of them. I almost had a 6 out of 6 last week's fight card. The first fight a bit ruined my chances. Still had 5 out of 6. There you go. I agree. Y'all think Reyes comes back hard? Seems like after everybody fights Jones, they just aren't the same anymore. Smith, Gustafsson, Santos, Reyes. That's just a couple. Yeah, it does seem like that. Seems like after everybody fights Jones, they just start to look terrible. What's up, Dab? How you doing? I'm going to go broke on Strickland. Raymond or Lobster on Sunday. We will find out. Or you're going for broke. Yeah, I hope Strickland gets it done as well. JP, let's do this. Just sign up for the Patreon and love the content. Enjoy Vegas. Hopefully you doing some gambling and partying. I will be doing both of those things. And appreciate you for signing up, man. Knock, knock. Who's there? What's up, Kyle? Haven't even had a chance to watch the breakdown yet, but I hope you're well, Brady, and enjoy Vegas. Appreciate that, Kyle. Big Brady have my child. I don't know about that one. I do not know about that one. Stay out of the brothels in Vegas. Okay, got you. What's up, Gregory? What's up, Preston? Big week ahead. I agree. Can't wait for Vegas, man. Preston will be there. The guys from Pub will be there. It's going to be a fun time. Have fun in Sin City. I will, for sure. What's up, Billy in the house? So hyped. Dogs are live as can be. Yeah, I'm picking a lot of dogs on this card. Lots of dogs on this card. Gaming Wolf has Reyes. What's up, Big Zo? How you doing? Biggest upset this weekend. Any thoughts? I kind of have maybe a little bit of a hot take. We'll talk about it. Strickland and Rob will cash. I agree. Some sneaky wrestling dogs. I agree. Reyes at 7,900 is a steal, so I'll play there. But yeah, we'll get into it. Before we get started, I do want to shout out the sponsor, Pub Sports Radio Live. A lot of our guys are going to be in Vegas, so I don't know how much content's going to be out there, but I still think they're doing a lot of stuff throughout the week as well. I do think they're still going to have some guys going live for Saturday also for the fights. But once we get back, we're going to continue to do content week after week on there. Lots of great stuff. We're growing very rapidly, and it's all thanks to you guys. So go over there if you haven't and hit the sub button and help support Pub Sports Radio Live. All right, so we'll kind of get into it here. I don't want to get too much into the breakdowns. I have a ton of stuff to do. I still have to pack, write some articles, and just do a ton more stuff. But Luke Sanders, Felipe Kolaris, I think this is a very interesting fight, and I think we do have a live dog on this fight just based off the fact that you cannot trust Luke Sanders at all. He's getting up there in age, 35 years old. It seems like he's winning the fight up until he's not. He gets clipped, he gets knocked out. He gets submitted. His submission defense is very, very sketchy. And then you have Kolaris, who honestly is not great, but he does bring some attributes that I really do like, especially in this fight. He has extreme toughness. He has an insane chin, great cardio. The wrestling is decent. He's gotten at least one takedown in each of his 3 UFC fights, and he is a black belt in BJJ, which I do think is important in this fight. So I kind of see it as I think Luke Sanders is going to have a very good first round. And I think that, as the fight goes on, I do think Kolaris will start having more and more success. I can see Kolaris getting a submission here. You should not be trusting Luke Sanders with your money. And you see Luke Sanders opening up minus 205, and he's currently minus 145. Kolaris opening up plus 165, currently plus 125. So a lot of people are kind of thinking the same thing. Like, this is definitely a dog or pass situation. You do never want to bet Luke Sanders as a favorite. Do I want to bet Kolaris? Maybe. I kind of want to look at it like from a prop perspective on this one. And we don't have the props yet. That's what sucks about going live so early in the week. We don't have the props for this fight with the KO props and submission props. But I kind of want to look at the sub prop for Kolaris. If that's a good line, I might take a shot on that. Kolaris inside the distance plus 305 is not bad because you see Luke Sanders, when he's losing inside the distance. He's getting clipped. He's getting hurt. He's been submitted in 3 of his 4 losses. He's been knocked out as well. So, yeah, I think Kolaris is live for a sub here. Black belt and BJJ. I checked out his Instagram. He looks to be in phenomenal shape. So I think this is definitely a live dog. So I will pick him to win. Don't know if I'll touch that money line, but I will be looking at the sub prop. If the sub prop's a decent line, I might take a shot on that. So as far as the DraftKings perspective, I mean, I don't love Sanders at 8,700, but I do think this is a fight that can score well either way. Kolaris is extremely hittable, but with that hittableness, he's very durable as well. I think Kolaris as 7,500 is a dog. I think he has takedown upside and a possible finish upside as well. But I will take Kolaris for the win. No bet for me as of yet, but that submission prop might be something I look at, or even like the under could be good. The under could be a good look as well. Hello, Marcos, about to mess up your bets. Yeah, hopefully nobody's betting Brandon Marcos, but I get the angle. What's up, Brady? It was an interesting show with Clint yesterday. I was fun with a show with Clint there for sure. Let's go Reyes by KO. Be sure to check into Discord for my medical opinion. Dr. PayPal in there. He's in there week after week giving his medical opinion on the weigh-ins and all that good stuff. Lots of insight there. I like him a little bit, but it's more of like a fade on Luke Sanders for me. I don't think he's all that great, but I do think he has what it takes to win this fight. Yep, Billy Briz is going to be holding down the house this week. Willie Beeman weekend on pub. Yes, sir. Cuțelaba cannot be trusted. No, he cannot. Brady from the Discord community, who's your favorite member whose name starts with a Z and 3 letters only? There'd have to be Zor if I had to pick one that had start with a Z and only 3 letters. But yeah, it should be a good first fight out of the night. I do think it could be one that scores well on DraftKings. I do think it could be one that can finish as well. The under is something I could look at. I think it opened up like plus 150. It's now plus 120. So a lot of money's coming in on that. I think the under is a good look, and I would take a look at that Kolaris sub prop. But as far as a bet, I don't have a bet on it as of yet. But I do have a bet on this next fight. We have Andreas Micheletis going against KB Buehler. Very interesting fight here. We have 2 guys that did not have the best UFC debut, to say the least. We had KB Buehler, who got knocked out by a jab from Tom Breeze, and then we have Micheletis, who took some elbows to the head and then fell out of the cage, and the ref stopped the fight for some reason. So 2 weird UFC debuts, but I don't know. KB Buehler has that unknown factor to him. Like, we don't know much about this guy. There's not much tape. He looked like crap in his UFC debut. Kind of reminds me of like a Jacob Malkoun or like a Jarvis Danya, who he's definitely live to win this fight. It's just from what I've seen, he's very hittable, has that tall man's defense, and you really don't want to be hittable against someone in Andreas Micheletis. Now, should you be laying the minus 250 on a guy like Andreas Micheletis? You probably shouldn't, but a bet I really do like in this fight is going to be the under, and that is my first bet. I think the under 2.5, got it at minus 180. I have 2 units on it. A lot of other books set the over-under at 1.5. I don't hate it, but if you can, try to get the alternate over-under at 2.5 rounds. It's a little bit safer, but I think the under 1.5 is live as well. So I do like that play. I do think someone's getting finished in this fight. Neither guy has lost by decision. You take a look at their finish rates. Both guys really good finishers. You have Micheletis, 91% finish rate. I think the guy's been to decision like 1 time in his entire career. And then you have KB Buehler, decent finisher himself, 75% finish rate. And Micheletis, like I said, he's been knocked out 4 times. So, yeah, I do expect Micheletis probably to starch him in that first round, but could Buehler pull off like a Malkoun or like a Danyo? Maybe. It's just that unknown factor that I don't really like. I mean, this guy has like 9-10 fights. I was only able to watch like 2 or 3 of them. Not much tape on the guy. Could he pull off the upset? Maybe. But ultimately, I do like the under a little bit more. So give me the under 2.5. I think the under 1.5 is not a bad look as well. On DraftKings, I think you should probably attack this from both sides. I think Micheletis is very live for an early finish. And like I said, I think Buehler could surprise a lot of people. So, but I will pick Micheletis for the win. I'd keep him out of your parlays, like for sure. I'd probably just take a look at the under, though. All right, what do we got in the chat here? Brady, will you marry me? No, thank you. Appreciate the offer, though. I think Carolina gets it done. Maybe. What's up, Brady? Was interested. Already read that. Let's see here. Already read all these. KB Buehler here. I don't know how, but I'll buy it, but I'll take it. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. But I do like that under. The People's Main Event, deciding once and for all which country is the MMA king, Greece or India. Yep, it's gonna be a fun fight for as long as it lasts, for sure. I was gonna take Greece, better women and food. I'm going with Greece as well. KB isn't good. Yeah, by looks of it, he does not look great. I had KB Buehler the last fight card to go. I don't know. Yeah, he did not make a good account for himself in his debut. That was pretty bad. 9K and up, who is your fave? So on DraftKings, my favorite fighter that's going to be 9K up is going to be Merab Dvalishvili, and we'll talk about him more as we get through the video. But I do like Merab quite a bit, that 9,000 range. Main fight ends early. I'm with you there. Got some insight on Carolina fight. Came through last time she was on the card. I wonder what the insight is, Billy. But yeah, that's a fight I'm not really looking forward to be honest. J-Rob, Brady, why didn't Jimmy Crute just wrestle his way to victory? It's weird. Like, first of all, he was losing in the striking, and he could have took down Smith like so much earlier. I was like yelling at my TV, like, why aren't you going for takedowns? And then Smith like kicks his leg, and Crute gets hurt. He's on one leg, and then he ends up getting 3 takedowns with one leg. It just doesn't make sense to me. But crazy fight. I think if they ran that back, I think Crute would probably go for takedowns earlier. I mean, the guy's a black belt, fantastic wrestling. Smith, 51% takedown defense. Just don't understand the game plan, but it happens. You can't go out there and be in these guys' corner. Drops of Mexico, big fan here. Will you adopt me? Appreciate you of being a fan, but I'm probably won't be able to adopt you there. Sorry, Drops of Mexico. What else do we got? Doesn't it scare you that Merab and Aljo are from the same camp? No, it doesn't scare me. Yeah, terrible fight IQ. Terrible. All right, so we'll get into the next fight, and this is going to be the first leg of my parlay. So the line's getting a little crazy here. I did parlay her at minus 355. Should have parlayed her a little bit earlier, but because I saw her at minus 335 last week, I was looking at it really hard. But yeah, minus 355 is where I got it. She's now like minus 400 on some books, which I think it's fair, I guess. I don't think the line's too wide. I do think she wins this fight. I think in the striking, she has Sam Hughes covered by a really wide margin. You take a look at Sam Hughes, and the striking's not great. The striking defense is not great. She made a terrible account for herself in her UFC debut, where Tecia Torres landed like 60 strikes on her in that first round. She ended up quitting the fight. She said she couldn't see. Very weird stoppage there. Is like Tecia Torres is like one of her only knockouts in her career. Then you have Loma, who is she's fantastic. The only problem with her is she's very undersized. I think that Sam Hughes is going to be the bigger fighter in this fight. The only concern I would have is like if Sam Hughes takes her down and lays on her. But with that said, Loma is working on that takedown defense, that ground game. Luma's never been taken down more than one time in the UFC, and when she does get taken down, she does get back up. And on the feet, I really don't think it's going to be close. Like Sam Hughes is going to rush in, go into the clinch, and Loma obviously loves the clinch. She's fantastic in the clinch, nasty elbows and knees, and that's probably where she's best. And even at range, like Loma has her covered by a really decent margin. So Luke Mumi is the biggest favorite on the card, and to be honest, I do agree with that line. If it gets any wider than that, though, I mean, that's getting a little crazy. Because Hughes does have a path to victory of getting takedowns. It's just I don't think she has the wrestling to do so, or the skill to do so as well. So like I said, Luma's going to be in the first leg of my parlay, parlayed with somebody else later in the card, and I do think she's a pretty solid parlay piece overall. As far as DraftKings, I'm fading this fight. Loma 9,400, no thank you. She's not going to get takedowns. She's probably going to throw Hughes down. but she doesn't follow up with the takedowns, and sometimes DraftKings does not count those. So give me Loma for the win. I like her as a parlay piece, not much on DraftKings. So is anybody taking a shot on Sam Hughes? Let's see here. We got some weirdos in here today. I think they're just joking. But yeah, I don't usually stream on Tuesday. The whole main card was a train wreck. It was a train wreck, but it was a fun train wreck. It was a fun train wreck. Crazy, crazy card. I loved it. Loma is my cash play. Yeah, if you're looking for safety, there you go. Luma's a safe play in cash. Is the fight tonight? The fights are on Saturday. Is it me, or does Masvidal seem like a whole new person after getting slept? I haven't really looked at anything or heard anything from him after getting slept. But yeah, I mean, full camp Masvidal. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting Usman to starch him like that. I thought Usman might be able to get him out of there like in the 4th or 5th round, but I'm sure like nobody was expecting Usman to just starch him in that 2nd round. Like, I thought if anybody's getting finished in those first 3 rounds, it's going to be Kamaru Usman. That was crazy. That was insane. What a card. What a card that was. Can't make this up. KB Buehler last pre-UFC opponents are 1-17 in the last 18 combined fights. Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Not a good sign. Sam Hughes could be a decent play on DraftKings if you don't like any other dogs because the fight probably goes to decision. Yes, she could be, especially if she can mix in a takedown or 2. I probably just don't want anything to do with this fight, really. I think there's a lot of great fights to target on this card. Luke Booney, yes, sir. Kind of like a few stabs on Loma for DK and GPP because under-owned. Yep, she's very under-owned. Yeah, she could get a finish. I actually was thinking about that. She only has 1 knockout on her record. But with how hittable Hughes is, and Luma's very nasty in that clinch, maybe she can land a nice elbow. And we have seen Hughes quit before due to a cut that was like on her nose. Nice parlay there. I like that. What's your prediction on the amount of finishes on this card? I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me 6. Give me 6 finishes. We'll talk about Cubs soon. Thug Rose with the nasty head kick. I mean, I watched it over and over, man. I mean, she set it up looking like it was going to be a leg kick. That's what Zhang Weili thought. She thought wrong. My goodness. One of the craziest head kicks I've ever seen. Brady Mob, yes, sir. Friday Masvidal did better, yes. And I kind of said the same thing. I was like, I think Usman's going to put on a better performance because he's more prepared for Masvidal. He was training for Burns, but I was not expecting that. You were there? Nice. Nice. I wish I was there. It seemed like the atmosphere of 261 was just out of this world. Jerry Reyes, don't go to decision thoughts. I think it's a safe play, but it's minus 405. All right, so we'll get into the next fight here, and we have a very exciting fight here. We have Kai Kamaka versus TJ Brown. I think this fight has potential to be fight of the night just with the styles of both guys. Both guys are very action-packed fighters. We have Kai Kamaka opened up minus 185, currently minus 155. TJ Brown opened up plus 155, currently plus 135. So this is a bet I placed last week. I got TJ Brown at plus 155, thinking the line would close. It has closed a little bit. I did expect it to close a little bit more. Just looking into the matchup, I mean, we saw Kai Kamaka get absolutely exposed in his last fight against Jonathan Pierce. He showed, weaknesses in his takedown defense, in his ground game. When he was getting up from getting taken down, he gave up his back every single time. And then you have TJ Brown, who is a very good wrestler, a very good grappler, has finished the majority of his fights by submission, 93% finish rate, 64% by submission. He does have a brown belt in BJJ. Obviously, on the feet, you got to give Kai Kamaka the advantage. I really do like his striking, but kind of something I don't like about Kai Kamaka is it looks like he hits really hard. He just doesn't have that finishing ability. 0 knockouts on his record, which is not a great sign to me. And also in these fights, he's slowing down. In the Tony Kelly fight, he looked phenomenal in that first round and a half, slowed down in that last round and a half. And Tony Kelly, really put it on. And they ended that fight with the same amount of significant strikes. In the Pierce fight, he looked solid in that first round. Gets to the second, he slows down. And then you got TJ Brown, who I do question his fight IQ. He went in there against Chavez in his last fight. We got to remember, on short notice, he went in there with a terrible game plan of just striking with a striker in Chavez when he should have been taking him down. So I don't know why he didn't take him down. Was it because he was coming in on short notice? Was it because Chavez was a black belt? I don't know, but what I do know is he has moved camps, training with Glory MMA and Fitness with James Krause. And I heard an interview that said TJ Brown and coaching James Krause, they handpicked out Kai Kamaka because they do think they can get a win here. And also heard that TJ Brown has been taking fights on short notice throughout his career, and he said that he wants to start getting full camps because the level of competition is getting higher. So he's going to be ready. He's going to come in here ready to go. I think his cardio is going to be on point. Take a look at his Instagram. He looks to be in phenomenal shape. I think this fight is going to play out really close, but I do think TJ Brown has the stylistic advantages to make this a fight he can definitely win by getting takedowns. If he goes to the takedowns early and often in that first round, really wear down Kai Kamaka, I think TJ Brown is extremely live, especially on a full camp, going to be prepared, going to have better cardio. We've seen Kai Kamaka slow down in a ton of fights. So yeah, I like Brown here, especially as an underdog. I think the line should be close to a pick 'em. Honestly, Brown maybe even a slight favorite. But yeah, I feel like there's some recency bias just because of how bad he looked in that Chavez fight. But we got to remember he did come in on short notice. He came in there with a horrible game plan, and Chavez was a black belt. But now he's training with James Krause. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if James Krause came in here with the game plan of striking with Kai Kamaka for 3 rounds. I would be shocked. So I do expect him to go to the takedowns, maybe find a submission. Like I said, Kamaka does give up his back every time he gets up. That is not a great sign against a really good grappler in TJ Brown. So yeah, give me TJ Brown for the win. I like TJ Brown as an underdog on DraftKings. I even like Kai Kamaka as like a play on DraftKings as well, just based off of the fact that he's going to throw a ton of volume. And I think this fight as a whole is going to be something you want to target on DraftKings. But as far as a ton of value, I think there's a lot of value on TJ Brown here as a dog. And I did take a 1-unit shot on him at plus 155. I was also kind of looking at the under, just the amount of finishes that Kai Kamaka does have really does concern me. TJ Brown, his chin's not great, but is Kai Kamaka going to get his first knockout win against him? I don't know. So probably going to pass on the under, but I do like TJ Brown to get it done. I'm going to say by decision, but I think a submission's live, which actually submission's plus 650. That's not horrible. But I will just take the straight up play on TJ Brown there. So what do we got here? That's just crazy with it's crazy with Kamaka. Like, he's overvalued in every single fight. His UFC debut, he's close to minus 300 against Kelly in a fight that should have been probably 50-50. Against Pierce, he was like minus 300 in a fight that probably should have been 50-50. And then here you see him at minus 170 in a fight that probably should be 50-50. So I don't know why they're overvaluing Kamaka. I think he's very exciting, but he did show holes in his game against Jonathan Pierce. F. Jake Paul, I agree. Final thoughts, but hey, I have to do it. I have to do it. Have to do it. Or there wouldn't be any final thoughts at all. He's a savage. The only TJ I trust is the Snake. I even wouldn't trust him. Big fade on Kai. Don't know where the line's coming from. It's the hype. It's the hype. But the hype has died down a little bit. A lot of people like this guy. Kamaka says he's at fight ready, but doesn't look like it. Yeah, I thought he was. Reyes Yuri fight ends by KO minus 270 on FanDuel. Is that a good look? Yeah, I was looking at the same thing. Maybe as like a parlay piece. Yeah, it's not bad. What's up, Spencer? Have fun in Vegas, Brady. Have fun. Let's go, Jerry. Future champ. Hey, could be. Do you know the under 2.5 odds in Jerry Reyes? Not yet. Waiting for the books to open up that alternate prop. I see the under is set at like plus 125 to the under 1.5, but they don't have the 2.5 yet, which sucks. So I will be more than likely betting that under 2.5 or even under 3.5, depending on the line. But yeah, give me TJ Brown there. So that's going to be my second dog of the night. And like I said, there's a lot of live dogs on this card. And speaking of live dogs, I think Jonathan Pierce is live as well. We have Benitez going against Jonathan Pierce here. Yeah, a fight that don't really get the line. We have Benitez open up minus 250, currently minus 190. Pierce open up plus 190, currently plus 165. So the money's coming in on Pierce. And I absolutely get it. Pierce has a crazy style, a crazy wrestling heavy pace. And we can get into the numbers a little bit as we do have a decent sample, 3-fight sample. Of course, one of those fights did end very early, but still, like, this guy is insane. He does average 8.8 significant strikes per minute, absorbing 6.65. That's the concern there, is he does get hit quite a bit. His striking defense is really, really terrible. We saw him get starched by Joe Lozon. So I think Benitez is very live in this fight for a knockout early, but if he does not get that knockout, Pierce, crazy wrestling pace, averaging nearly 6 takedowns per 15 minutes. Benitez has been taken down a ton throughout his career, 56% takedown defense. I think if Pierce goes to that wrestling early and often, gets out of that first round, I think that first round is going to be extremely dangerous. I think he's very live to win this fight. Could Benitez knock him out early? Of course he could. But I just don't get the line. I don't get the minus 190 here. I think Pierce is very live with the wrestling, with the pace, with the pressure. Honestly, I think Benitez is knockout or bust. I don't see him winning a decision. I think Pierce is more high output. I think Pierce is going to mix in the takedowns. I think for Benitez to win, he's going to have to win by KO, which is plus 300. If you're on the Benitez side, that's probably the way to go, is that KO prop. He does have a lot of submissions on his record as well, plus 550 by submission. So I'm going to go with Pierce for the upset. I do like the under a little bit better, though. The under 2.5 is set at like minus 165 to the under. I think I might just play that. I haven't played it yet, but I'm really looking at the under, or even the fight doesn't go to decision, minus 185, because if Benitez wins, it's going to be inside the distance. And I can also see like a Pierce second round, third round finish as well. So yeah, the pick's going to be Pierce. I think this is the fight you're going to want to have on DraftKings. Pierce has massive takedown upside. I think Pierce can score a ton if he does indeed win. And then you have Benitez 8,800. I think if he does win, it's probably an early knockout, just due to the fact of how hittable Pierce is. So yeah, going to be attacking this fight really hard on DraftKings. And then as far as a bet, I'm really looking at that under, and that might be a future play. Haven't bet it yet though. Why is Loma such a favorite? Well, for one, she's very good, and for two, Hughes is not that good. But I get what you mean. My favorite dog so far is Pierce. Everyone's on Pierce. Yeah, I see a lot of people on him. Someone's getting their ass shaved in this one. Both these dudes are killers. Yeah, I definitely agree. Not the bookie, no. But the line is coming down, though. I can't bring that comment up. With all your winnings, hookers and cocaine, neither of those. Do you think Chris Weidman ever fights again? He's still my boy, no matter what. I sadly do not think he fights again, but hopefully I'm wrong. But the guy is like almost 37 years old. Yeah, terrible injury. But I hope he makes a full recovery and does come back. It's just I don't see it happening. Brady, have you bet on a DK Sportsbook yet? I have in the past. I haven't lately. They've been really slacking with the props. But I have been on there before. Not a bad book, but I do prefer the FanDuel Sportsbook. Any lean towards Pierce or Benitez on DK? Yeah, I'd lean towards Pierce just based off the price. Wait after the first round to live bet. Yeah, you could do that. Live bet Pierce after the first round. I wonder what Benitez is to win in the first round. Because I think that's how he wins. Favorite parlay. We'll get to my parlay very soon here. Yeah, I wouldn't say it sucks. I would just say it's, FanDuel has them covered, I think. Ray Longo said Weidman is coming back. I hope so. 2 best locks for the parlay. I will get to my parlay very soon here. All right, so we'll get into the next fight here, and we have Luana Panero going against Amanda Marcos. At first look, I thought, hey, I might take a shot on Marcos, but after digging into it, definitely not. Marcos, she's like 10-10-1 in her career, one of the worst records you'll see in the UFC. And then I look into Panero. I actually like what I see from Panero. Yes, she's coming off the Contender Series. Yes, maybe she shouldn't be this big of a favorite, but I do really think she wins this fight. I think she's better pretty much everywhere. I just don't see how Marcos wins this fight. Like, for Marcos to win this fight, she's going to have to take Panero down, get on top. But even then, like, Panero is a brown belt, very dangerous on the mat. So I just don't see how Marcos wins this fight. She's not going to be on the feet. I do think, if anything, Panero can take her down. I'm going to take Panero. I wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't really even look at any props, and they're kind of slacking on the props for this one as well. They don't have KO or sub yet. I do think, I don't know, like Panero's been finishing like all of her fights as of late. Marco's never been knocked out. Marcos has been submitted twice. Maybe Panero by sub could be very interesting. It could be very interesting. Panero by sub, because she has finished the majority of her wins by submission. I think it's like 63% submission rate for Panero. Marcos has been submitted twice. Yeah, I'm curious to see what Panero by submission is. And I wish I had those odds with me, but that might be something I look at depending on the odds there. But I do think it's probably a Panero decision, maybe submission. As far as DraftKings, I actually do like Panero on DraftKings. I think she's going to be very low owned, 8,500 finisher. She has a really nice style that could score well on DraftKings with takedowns, control time, possible finish. As far as Marcos, I'm not going to play her, probably not. So I'll take Panero, no bet, unless the sub prop looks nice. So we'll wait for that. But I do like Panero to get the win overall. Not going to be betting Marcos. All right. 1 second, guys. My internet is acting up. All right. Panero is fine, and she can grapple. Yep, very good grappler. Brown belt on BJJ. I like what I saw. I thought maybe I might fade her going into it, but no, I think she's decent. Panero inside the distance. Yeah, could be. So Panero inside the distance is plus 235. Not bad, but I want to look for that sub prop. Do you think any of these female fights would end up in the optimal lineup? They all seem pretty meh. I think if either of them do, I think it's probably Panero. I don't know if Batallio will get there. I'd say Panero. What's up, Brady? Secretly fire a card this weekend. Let's go. I agree. I think this card's very good. What's up, Brian? Smith under 1.5 was nice for you. Yeah, a lot of people were on the over 1.5 in that. Sucks for them. That was a crazy way to cash that one. Do or die for Marcos scares me a little. Yeah, it could. I just don't see how she wins. I think she's going to have to get on top, controller, make it a boring fight. But even then, I follow that Pierce play Brady. Yeah, I'm probably not going to bet it myself, but I will be betting the under. More than likely. Final thoughts. I'm going to Vegas. I got to get everything out early. Panero is very hot. Yeah, she's all right. And yeah, I did get my research done like really early, so these are pretty much my final thoughts. Although we have not seen the weigh-ins yet. And yeah, Junior is 13. What time will be Jerry Reyes? What time am I breaking it down? Probably like 20 minutes here. All right, so next we have Poliana Batallio going against Luana Carolina. My goodness, 8,900 for Batallio on DraftKings. Carolina 7,300. Batallio actually opened up on some books like minus 160, and I didn't look into it at the time, but I thought, yeah, I might take a shot at that. But by the time I got done with my research and all that, she's like minus 200, and now she's like minus 245, which is a little crazy. But I do agree at the line movement. Carolina, she's just not great. She's really terrible at range. Her striking's pretty bad. I think Batallio's the better striker. In the clinch, Carolina probably has the edge there, but outside of that, I think Batallio has her covered really everywhere. I think Batallio can actually mix in takedowns here. She only averages about a takedown per 50 minutes, but that's because she's fighting fighters like Jillian Robertson, who she's not going to want to take down. Cynthia Calvillo. I do think she can take down Carolina, lay on her, win a decision here. Maybe finish her. Batallio has a lot of power. But yeah, I really want nothing to do with this fight at all. Even from like a DraftKings perspective, hard to get to Batallio when you have Merab right next to her. So yeah, not really much interest in this fight. Could Carolina win? I don't know, maybe, but I just don't see it happening. So give me Batallio to win. No action on it, and probably a fight I'm not going to have much DraftKings on as well. But I do think she does win. Is this event open to the fans? It is not. Have fun at Vegas, brother. Appreciate that, Genie. I will have a lot of fun. Carolina before Lipsky fight got a spine injury. Yes, sir. She did. Thinking of hitting the under 2.5 on this fight if the price is right. Yeah, the price probably is right on it. So the fight doesn't go to decision is plus 210. So the under 2.5 is probably like what, plus 245? Could be a decent look. We'll take a look at their finishing rates. Batallio, decent finisher, 75%, all 75% by knockout. Carolina, 50%, finishing half for wins. 33% by knockout, 17% by submission. That's not a bad look. I think it could finish. Really not a fight I'm looking forward to, though. I feel pretty terrible putting money on it, to be honest. Very tough fight, but could go the distance. It could. Any chance you see a path to victory for Colby against Usman? I'm going Usman, like first look there. It could be a close fight, though. Stamann 7,200 on DK seems cheap for his ceiling. It's all about the matchup, and I don't really see him taking down Merab. But yeah, it is cheap. Any plans for Vegas? Yeah, a ton of plans. Just hanging out with the guys from pub, going to a barbecue, watching the fights, some horse racing. Should be a fun time. Casino, all that good stuff. Yeah, she does. Merab and Stamann won't be a high-scoring fight, in my opinion. Taking Stamann, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be crazy scoring like the majority of Merab fights are. Merab Strickland looks nice as a parlay. I like them both to win, but that's not my parlay personally. Batallio would be smart just to wrestle. Yeah, I think she could do that here. I can't pull up that comment. All right, so we'll get into the next fight here, and we have, yeah, this is the fight I'm probably looking forward to the most outside of the main event. We have Merab Dvalishvili going against Cody Stamann. I like Merab in this fight. I don't necessarily agree with the line. I think it could play out somewhat close. At range, you got to favor Stamann. You got to think he's the better striker. It's just this fight won't be at range for the majority of the fight, just due to the style of Merab coming forward. Just throwing a ton of strikes, closing the distance. And we saw in his last fight against John Dodson where, first of all, it sucked for a lot of people that had Merab on DraftKings because he only got 2 takedowns and Dodson was able to stuff 18 of them. But you saw that Merab was still able to win that fight just based off of him controlling Dodson against the cage, throwing more strikes than Dodson, and his striking did look a little bit improved as well. So I think he can kind of do the same thing here. I think at times this fight will play out somewhat close, but I think the pressure of Merab is going to give Stamann a lot of problems. I think he's going to hold Stamann against the cage, get him down every so often. Stamann, very good takedown defense, sitting at like 80%, but he can be taken down. But yeah, it's a fun fight. I'm not going to touch the money line. I'm not going to touch the minus 255. I do think he wins, but I would rather look at like the decision prop minus 130. We'll take a look at their finish rates, and they're pretty terrible. Like Merab, 25% finish rate, no finishes in the UFC, 17% by knockout, 8% by submission. We see Cody Stamann's never been knocked out. His one submission loss was to Aljamain Sterling. Cody Stamann, 44% finish rate, a little bit better, 42% by knockout, 11 by submission. And Dvalishvili's only been submitted once. It was like a really weird submission against Ricky Simone, where he went out like at the final seconds of the fight. So I do like Merab by decision. If anything, I haven't bet it yet. I'm waiting for my book to get out the decision prop. If it's like minus 110, minus 120, I'll probably pull a trigger. So got to wait for that FanDuel Sportsbook to get the props out there. So I might take advantage of that. If not, if it's like minus 130, minus 135, I might just stay away. But I do think, and I don't typically parlay props, but I think the fight goes to decision is pretty decent. I think fight goes to decisions like minus 260, something like that. And I like that quite a bit. Both guys, I don't believe, have a finish in the UFC. Both guys have never been knocked out. I think the fight goes to decision is a little bit safer than laying that price tag on Merab. So that might be a parlay piece of mine, is that fight goes to decision. That might be something I look at for this card. Did you watch Stamann and Aljo? If yes, what did you think? Yeah, it was a really good fight, but it looked like Aljo really weared on Stamann, and Stamann was able, Aljo was able to get the submission in that fight. But it was competitive for like the first like round and a half. Fun fight. Shut up, MMA GA. That's kind of mean. Wishmore, yeah, that's a big concern of Merab. Like the guy cannot control his opponents. Brady, get a haircut. Buddy needs to look like big money. I need a haircut bad. I've needed one for a while, so hopefully I get one soon. Not going to be able to get it before I go to Vegas, which sucks. But hopefully get it pretty soon here. Merab fights right for a split decision. Very high percentage. It goes to the judges. Follow the money. Yeah, that's another concern. I mean, this is probably going to decision. The judges have been terrible. Do I want to lay minus 255 on a guy that's probably going to decision? Might even get outlanded? No, I don't, because we don't know what the judges are going to score. Are they going to score the control and the takedowns of Merab? Are they going to control the strikes of Stamann? I don't know. So yeah, it could play out close. I don't want to lay the minus 255, but I do like the fight goes to decision. Man, I just think Stamann is class above Merab. My opinion, has faced better competition. He has faced better competition. I actually think Stamann is extremely underrated as well. If the decision prop is too high, GTM put me on decision third in the alternate prop final section. There you go. Yep, decision or third round is not bad. Merab fights usually end inside the distance. Safe bet by decision, not inside the distance. I will be a bit shocked if it does end inside the distance. I'm with you there. I'm taking the over 2.5. I'm with you there. How's Reyes the underdog? We'll talk about that soon. Yeah, I think it's a good parlay piece. Do you think it's a stand-up war between two wrestlers? I think we'll have some striking for sure. I just don't think that it'll last long. I think Merab will close the distance and get takedowns, or try to. Brady, cut your hair. I cut my own hair. Probably why it looks like crap. Hey, I could definitely not cut my own hair. That would look terrible. Are you going to Vegas for UFC 264? I don't know yet. I want to go to an event, but they keep selling out, so I got to get on it. How sick was the one-armed rear naked choke from? Yeah, that was crazy. That was insane. That was crazy. The fight card in a whole is like crazy. I'm with you there. Let's talk about we'll talk about Strickland soon. Yeah, I think my hair looks okay. Cash. I agree. You got Kamzat or Nick Diaz. Give me Kamzat. Stamann has better strikes. I'm smelling an upset if Stamann can stuff some he'll definitely stuff some takedowns. We saw Dotson and stuff 18 takedowns. Could play out close. So, but there's a lot of people really high on Merab. I do think he wins, but I think the fight goes to decision. Might be a little bit better of a parlay piece than the minus 255, and especially considering it's like about the same price. All right, so getting into the next fight, this is going to end out my parlay. I have 2 units, 1.5 units. I have 1.5 units on Strickland, parlayed with Loma, Luke Boomy at minus 119. Really do like that parlay. Probably my 2 most confident picks on the entire slate. I just really like Strickland in this matchup. He's going to be throwing more volume. I think that is key in this fight. He's been fighting the much better competition. I guess the one thing I was worried about at first was the takedowns of Jotko. He does take his opponents down, kind of lay on him, win fights like that. It's just Strickland has a very good takedown defense, sitting at about 81%. Stuffed 6 out of 8 takedowns from Kamaru Usman. And since then, I don't think he's been taken down. So very good takedown defense. His striking's phenomenal. Great boxing. Great combinations. And he's looked really good since that motorcycle accident, taking a little bit of a layoff with that as well. Coming back, winning 2 in a row, and just looking phenomenal. And what I like most about Strickland in this matchup is going to be that output. I think the output is the key factor here. And the durability. I mean, if we're talking durability, yes, Strickland's been knocked out before, but Jotko has been knocked out 2 times, once by Uriah Hall, once by Brad Tavares, which is definitely not a great look. So I think Strickland can win a decision just based off of the volume. I don't think we've ever seen Jotko land more than like 75 significant strikes. We've seen Strickland do that a few times, actually. So when it comes down to volume, you got to favor Strickland. I think the striking Strickland. Could Jotko take him down? Maybe, but I'm leaning towards no. And even if he does, like Strickland's a brown belt in BJJ, great grappling. So yeah, I'm going to take Strickland here. I do like him. You see the minus 255. I think that's a decent parlay piece there. Don't really want to look at any props, but I do like Strickland and Loma parlayed together. Probably my favorite parlay on the entire slate. As far as DraftKings 9,200, it's not awful, but I don't really see Strickland going for takedowns, getting control time. Maybe he does mix in a takedown or 2. I think he could. But I think majority of this fight's going to play out on the feet. I think he's going to land a decent amount of volume, maybe find a finish. I don't think he's a terrible play in DraftKings, but I do like Sean Strickland in that parlay. All right, what do we got in the chat here? Merab for cash, I agree. I'm definitely going to have Merab in my cash lineup, 100%. Stamann can definitely stuff the takedowns, probably his best trait. Yep, very good wrestler. Leg breaks are nasty. I agree. We had two nasty leg injuries for UFC 261. Thanks for not taking the week off, bro. Really appreciate the early free content as always. You go. Appreciate that. Yep, it was a grind, but was able to get everything done for the most part. Still have a ton to do still. Clint is straight tripping half the time, but seems like such a great dude. Yeah, Clint's an awesome dude for sure. Hard to be high on a decisionator. I mean, just his style. Like it's exciting. It's fun. Yeah, he said that he was getting Breeze and Strickland mixed up, which they do kind of look the same. So I get it. It happens. About 49% of Jotko's UFC fights take place on the cage and on the ground. Jotko won't box Strickland at range. He will definitely try to slow down the fight. Could be an ugly fight. Yeah, a lot of Krzysztof Jotko fights are very ugly and boring. Hopefully this one isn't, but he's going to try to make it boring. Yeah, he got him mixed up. Merab is a fade for me. Wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get one takedown. I mean, I think he'll get a ton of them stuffed, but I do think he'll get at least one. We've seen Stamann taken down a few times by lesser wrestlers, but I do think he stuffs a lot. Just got here. Do you think has a higher chance to finish? Batallio or Panero? I'm gonna go with Panero. Jotko is 15-1 in decisions. Yeah, both guys have a really good record. And you take a look at who Strickland's losing to, guys like Ponzinibbio, guys like Kamaru Usman. But yeah, we'll get into the next fight here. If you guys can all hit the like button, that'd be sweet. Thanks for everybody for hanging out. 150 on a Tuesday. It's not bad. So thank you. Really do appreciate you all hanging out with me on a Tuesday early in the week. Final thoughts on a Tuesday. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. So next fight should be one of the more exciting fights on the card. We have Ian Cuțelaba going against Dustin Jacoby. The odds maker set the over-under at 1.5, and it is juiced to the under, and probably for a good reason. I think these guys are going to try to take each other's heads off in that first round. It's going to be interesting to see who has the better cardio if this does get extended, just based off the fact that Jacoby is coming in on short notice, and Jacoby has slowed down in fights before. And what it comes down to me is that level of competition. I mean, you have Ian Cuțelaba, who is losing it to the best of the best guys. Of course, he just lost to Magomed Ankalaev 2 times. He lost to Glover Teixeira, someone that's fighting for a title, Jared Cannonier, and Misha Serkinov. And then you have Dustin Jacoby, who arguably lost a fight to Maxim Grishin, who outlanded him 66-57 in a fight that a lot of people thought that Grishin won, including me. But yeah, I really do like Cuțelaba in this fight. Do I want to bet him as a favorite? Not really, but I will have a decent amount of him on DraftKings at 8,200. I think this fight as a whole just scores a ton. I think you're probably going to need this fight in your lineups one way or another. I can definitely see Jacoby getting a knockout. I can definitely see Cuțelaba getting it done in the first round. So I'm probably going to split exposure, but I really do like the Cuțelaba side. I'm not going to bet it. Maybe there's like an alternate over-under at like 2.5. If it's a decent price to that under, I might take that, because I really don't see this getting extended too much. Even like the under 1.5 is not a bad look, but I'm going to take Cuțelaba to win in that first round. Should be a very, very fun fight, though, for as long as it lasts. I don't really want to look at any props. I mean, Jacoby has been submitted twice. Cuțelaba by submission plus 900. Yeah, I don't really like anything. Cuțelaba, they're all over it. Like Cuțelaba wins inside the distance plus 105. So yeah, I'll just take Cuțelaba for the win. And I'll take him to win by first round TKO. Should be a very fun fight for as long as it lasts, though. Chikadze lock of the week. I don't know about that. We'll talk about that soon. No way Cub is live. Went 7-8 on my parlay. Had Crute Smith over 1.5. Very bad beat there. Very easily should have went over the 1.5 mark. Easily. Yeah, Chinese fighter's been 0-4. 0-4. Insane. I like the under and Cuțelaba to win. I'm with you on that one. Elo Guida is a hype train and DK Cancer fade him. Chikadze over Cub. Cub is done. Cub apparently is not done. Cub's 1-2 in a row, looking good. Cuțelaba is a good DK play. Yeah, I like Cuțelaba as a DK play for sure. Yeah, for sure. Grishin won that fight. I really did think so. 60-40, nice split there. I'm probably going to be 100% own on this fight. With the slight, I'm probably like with you, like 60-40, maybe 65-35. I feel like Jacoby will KO if Ion does not wrestle. Kind of with you there. I think he will wrestle, though. He can wrestle. He really can. It just he's facing some really, really high-level guys. Cuțelaba, Giga, Reyes, parlay. I would honestly not parlay any of them, and I'm picking them all to win. But good luck to you there. Christian dropped Jacoby twice, and Jacoby was saved by the bell in the first and still lost the round according to one judge. Yeah, crazy. These judges are crazy. Giga by KO. Maybe. I feel like Jacoby could be a good punt. Wouldn't really call him a punt. I mean, he's 8,000. But I think it's a solid play. I think the fight as a whole scores really high. I will pull the trigger on Strickland by KO. I would donate $100 for you, Brady. Deserve much. Yeah, someone told me they'd donate $100 if Whitaker won. Never got the 100, but it's okay. I don't need it. But still. Yeah, Strickland by KO is live for sure. Strickland by KO plus 175. Oddsmaker's kind of on it. TJ is out of the Sandman fight. Oh no, that's horrible. I was looking forward to that. If that's true, that sucks. But yeah, that sucks. Hopefully it gets rebooked in the future. It's sustained a cut. Weird. That is weird. Christian is over 5 pounds. Can't give him that decision. I mean, I thought he won the fight. But yeah, we'll get into the co-main event. Before we do, if you guys can hit the like button, also subscribe if you have not yet. Going to be getting out my betting breakdown video tomorrow. I'm kind of going to push it back as much as possible. Hopefully, these odds makers get these lines out so I can get that video done. I already know the plays I'm going to be placing my bets on. I'm looking at the submission prop for Kolaris, maybe the under. I am looking at the Pierce Benitez under. I'm looking at parlaying potentially Dvalishvili Stamann fight goes to decision. I'm looking at possibly Dvalishvili by decision if it's a decent price. I'm looking at, we'll talk about it soon, but the main event, I think the fight doesn't go to decision as a parlay piece is fantastic. I think the under in the main event, alternate under like under 2.5, under 3.5. So hopefully the bookies get these props out so I can get some action on, but I already do know what I'm going to be betting for the week, and it'll be on the betting breakdown more than likely. So it's pushed back till June. Okay, at least we're still getting the fight. All right, so we'll get into the co-main event here. Yeah, really weird line movement. Like this is some sketchy stuff. Like Chikadze opened up minus 240, currently minus 150. So last night Chikadze was like minus 205, minus 210. I wake up and this guy's like minus 145, minus 150. So weird, crazy line movement. I don't know what happened, but we now see Chikadze at minus 150 on the majority of the books. So I don't know what's going on, but I do agree with the line movement. I think this could be a somewhat of a close fight. And like I mentioned on my prediction video, like I'm the biggest Chikadze hater. It's just it's hard to not notice the massive improvements he's making each and every fight. His striking's improving, his cardio is improving, his output is improving, his takedown defense is improving, his ground game is improving. So many improvements. Training at a very good camp. Cub Swanson, he's been looking good. He was able to go out there and beat Kron Gracie. He was able to go out there and beat Daniel Pineda. I just think Chikadze is the much better striker out of those two. But this could be a close fight. I mean, Chikadze, I do still have some concerns about the output, about the cardio. Cub Swanson's very tough. He's going to throw a lot of output. He's going to be throwing the more volume. So, yes, this could be a very close fight. Could go to a split decision even. I don't think Chikadze knocks him out. Cub Swanson is very durable. 38 fights, I believe, only one knockout loss. When he's losing, he's typically losing by submission or decision. I'll still stick with my pick of Chikadze. I just don't feel great about it. I feel like this could be a really, really big trap, especially the line movement. Like the line movement's really sketchy, and I do see a lot of people taking a shot on Cub, and I definitely get it. But I think Chikadze is going to land the more flashier strikes, the better looking strikes, the harder strikes as well. I'll take Chikadze to win. I just don't love the price, even though it is coming down. If it comes down to like minus 110 for some reason, minus 120. I guess I'll have some interest, but even then, I really don't want to ever bet on Chikadze outside of I bet him, I believe last time against Jamie Simmons. I think I bet him a first round finish. Other than that, I typically do not want to put money on this guy. But yeah, should be a very good test for Chikadze to really see where he's at going against a veteran in Cub Swanson, who has been taking out some guys. He took out Daniel Pineda. He took out Kron Gracie. Could he make it 3 in a row here? Maybe. But I really want no action in this fight. I really don't even want to look at any props as well. Yeah, I was gonna say like fight goes to decision, but even then, like I don't have much interest in it. So I'm gonna take Chikadze to win. As far as DraftKings goes, like Chikadze has scored terribly in every single fight outside of Jamie Simmons. I think he's averaging like 65 or less points per fight without the Jamie Simmons fight. Just due to the fact that he's not going to get takedowns, especially in this fight. He's not going to get takedowns, not going to get control time, low output, low volume. So for him to score well, he's probably going to need a first-round knockout. As far as Cub Swanson, maybe. I mean, if Cub Swanson comes in here with the game plan of getting takedowns, like he is extremely live. It's just we haven't seen Cub Swanson do that. Cub Swanson, a black belt, I believe, in BJJ. We have seen Chikadze submitted before. We have seen his ground game exposed. But like I said, he's patching up a lot of those things. But I just have a weird feeling about this fight, and I want to stay as far away from it as possible. But I'm interested in it. I'm really interested to see how Chikadze fares against Swanson here. He could by knee KO when Cub throws an overhand. Yeah, I'd be kind of shocked if he KO'd Cub, but it's possible, I guess. But Chikadze's only finish in the UFC was against Jamie Simmons. The GOAT is back. Tajik Bey, the GOAT. I like it. Giga's on the most unimpressive 4-fight win streak in the UFC. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Erwin Rivera, Simmons, Jamal Emmers in a fight that, I thought Jamal Emmers won that fight, to be honest. Jamal Emmers outlanded him a decent amount. Emmers took him down a couple times. And then the Davis fight, his debut was close as well. I think that was a split as well. Giga does not normally score high on DraftKings minus the last fight, but like him for the win. I'm with you. I like him for the win, just don't really like him on DraftKings. Let's see here. He is a lock on DK easily. Giga is. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he scores well. Giga for cash. If you're looking for like a safe play, I guess I just have a weird feeling about it. Especially with Cub Swanson, looking as good as he has in the past couple fights. Tajik Bey predicting a 10-second KO. Giga for cash for sure, not GPP. Yeah, kind of leaning towards that as well. Giga easy money. Do you think Dwight Grant, Stefan Sekulik was a robbery? I scored the first round a 0-0 draw because literally nothing happened in that fight, but I'm kind of joking there. I scored all 3 rounds for Sekulik. The first round, like nothing happened in that first round. I thought I slightly gave it to Sekulik. I guess you could give it to Grant, but I really don't think it's up for debate that Sekulik did not win those rounds 2 and rounds 3. So I wouldn't say robbery, but I'd say it's like a really bad decision. But like nothing, he didn't do much in that fight. Like neither guy did anything. So, but I did think Sekulik, won the fight. Over 1.5, it's probably juiced to the max, but yes. Swanson by KO plus 600 in a crazy small cage, maybe. Line movement confusing, but just value on the better fighter. Don't see Cub taking it to the ground effectively enough. Yeah, if Cub showed more wrestling in his game, I'd probably pick Cub here. But he just doesn't wrestle enough. Maybe he will in this fight, though. The most takedown attempts Cub has ever had in a fight was 5 against Duho Choi. Hard to think he will actually wrestle Giga. Yeah, I don't think he's had more than 2 takedowns in the UFC as well. So he could surprise us. You will, Brady, just give me your email. My email is okay. Won't remember that, but you can hit me up on like Twitter. If Cub doesn't at least present threat of the takedown, Giga will work him on the feet. I agree. Good take there, Tajik. I was on Grant, but he lost that fight straight. Yeah, I picked Grant to win as well, but I did think he lost that fight. Wow, Dvalishvili got 12 and 14 takedowns in 2 consecutive fights. Good luck trying that on Stamann. Dude can wrestle. Yeah, I don't see him getting 12 or 14 against Stamann, that's for sure. Stare down, not a fight. Yeah, I don't think either of them did anything, but I did think Sekulik did more, I guess, especially in that third round. All right, so we'll get into the main event here. Now we have the fight I'm most looking forward to. I think Procházka Reyes is a great fight. Also, really looking forward to the Dvalishvili fight. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight a ton. And I do have a bet on this fight, and I'm going to be adding a second one as well. So first of all, I think the fight doesn't go to decision is a fantastic parlay piece. You take a look at Jiří Procházka. He's never lost by decision, 2 knockout losses, 1 loss by submission. Take a look at his finish rate, 96% finish rate. I think the dude's been to decision maybe like 1 time in his entire career, maybe 2, but typically his fights do end inside the distance one way or another, whether he is getting the finish or getting finished himself. And then you have Dominic Reyes, who 75% finish rate, 58% by knockout, and has been knocked out before. We saw him get knocked out by Jan Blachowicz. And yeah, the line is weird. It's a little bit off in my opinion. I don't really see why Procházka should be the favorite, but I do get it. It's probably because, a lot of the hype's on the guy. Tons of hype on this guy. People love this guy. People love guys that go in there, they mess around, they talk to their opponents, kind of like Kevin Holland. Like, people love Kevin Holland just because of that style, and he brings something new. Like, we don't see a lot of other fighters or any other fighter with the style that this guy brings. So he's really unique, and people really like that. And then you have Dominic Reyes, who looked like absolute crap in his last fight. And we got to remember, like, Dominic Reyes came into that Jan Blachowicz fight as like a minus 260, minus 270 favorite. Prior to that, the dude pretty much beat John Jones, and it's just crazy how people, switch up so fast. But as far as this fight goes, but people remember, and this is why I think the line's where it is, people remember the knockout of Volkan Oezdemir. People remember the very nice head kick. They remember the follow-up punches. But what people don't remember is, I thought Jiří looked terrible. I thought he looked terrible in that first round against Oezdemir. Like, Oezdemir was piecing him up. Oezdemir outlanded him in that fight 41-33. The first round stats were Oezdemir hit him about 40 times compared to Procházka landing 26 strikes. And if you go back and watch that fight, the guy is in there. He's messing around. He's talking to Oezdemir. He's fighting with his hands down. And I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that his hands were down to his waist. He was holding his hands together, leaving his face 100% exposed. And then he was doing that no-look striking defense, something you don't see too often, especially at this level, a no-look striking defense where he's looking the other way while Oezdemir is right in his face. And people don't remember that Oezdemir made him wobble 4 times in that first round. So yeah, his style is very fun. I get it. He's a very exciting fighter, but is that style of a hands-down striking defense, a no-look striking defense, is that going to work at the highest level? I don't know. Maybe it could. Would I be shocked if Procházka knocked out Reyes? Not at all. But I think Reyes is extremely live for an early KO just due to the fact that this guy, Jiří, he has no striking defense. In that fight, he absorbed an average of 7.05 significant strikes per minute. Oezdemir hit him cleanly plenty of times. Do you want to get hit cleanly against Dominic Reyes, especially not looking? I don't think so. I think the line's off. I think there's a lot of hype baked into the line. But it should be a fun fight. But I do like Reyes here. I do like Reyes to get a first round finish and maybe teach Jiří a lesson. Like I said, we have seen Jiří knocked out before. He does bring a weird style, no striking defense, and yes, he does present a style that may give Dominic Reyes some problems on the feet. But with that said, he's able to get hit so cleanly. No striking defense. I don't think it's a good idea against someone in Dominic Reyes who, like I said, has been fighting the best of the best. Has been in 2 title fights. One he probably should have won. The other one he looked like crap. Didn't look like himself in that fight. And it was weird. That was the worst Dominic Reyes we've ever seen. I kind of chopped it up as maybe he was still stuck on that John Jones fight. He was talking about it all fight week when he should have been focusing on the fight. So I think that might have been a little bit why. So I do think we see a better Dominic Reyes. Could Jiří knock him out? Absolutely. It's just who has the better striking defense for me. And I think Dominic Reyes definitely has a better striking defense. So I'm going to say Dominic Reyes first round knockout. Should be a fun fight though. But I do like the under. I do like the under 2.5. I don't really love the 1.5. But if you can get the alternate, and this is what I'm waiting for, the alternate under 2.5 rounds, I think even like the round 3 does not start. It's like -115. I do like that. So that's going to be a potential play. Or even like the fight doesn't go to decision, -400. That's probably a solid parlay piece just with the styles of these guys. But I did take a shot on Dominic Reyes +120. I have 1 unit on it. I think the line's off. I think the wrong guy's favored. But in the same breath, could Procházka knock him out? Absolutely. I just think that Reyes definitely has the tools to beat him here. As far as DraftKings, you will want to go all in on this fight. I do think it scores very well. I do think it ends early. I think there's going to be a lot of volume in this fight as well. But I do think someone gets knocked out. Somebody mentioned earlier the fight ends in a KO -270. Maybe a nice parlay piece. But I will be adding some to this fight. Like I said, like the under 2.5. The fight doesn't get the decision as a parlay piece. But I do think this fight finishes more times than not. But yeah, what do you guys think of this fight? I know a lot of people will probably be on Yuri, but surprisingly, I've seen a lot of people on Dominic Reyes as well. I kind of thought the line would get wider as the fight week went on, but we're kind of seeing that line close up a little bit. So I don't know where the line's going to go, but I did get it in on it at +120. I do like that line. What do we got in the chat? Reyes redemption match. Got to come back for the John Jones rematch. Matchmakers know that. Money. He's got a chin, but he definitely wobbled. Not as bad as Bisping made it seem, though. Are we talking about Yuri? Yeah, Yuri has a great chin. But your chin can only take you so far when you're not having any striking defense. He wasn't piecing him up. Jerry controlled the fight for the most part. But yeah, he was in trouble a few times in the first round. But that second round, while it lasted, was all Jerry. But I remember, like, Oezdemir, like, slowed down. He slowed down a ton. He was tired after that first round. Got to remember that. And I would go back and watch that first round because Oezdemir was touching him up. I'm living in the Czech Republic and have Reyes by KO +300. Huge value there. Yeah, I think someone in my Discord was on that play as well. I forget who. Nice to have both men in the main event fighters at a cheap price. I agree. I'm going to have 100% of it. Yeah, I like the main event as well. Jerry needs to be looking. I agree, but I remember his presence and pressure was suffocating Oezdemir. Yeah, got him tired. Jerry is weird. 1, Reyes likes to be an underdog. 2, 3, I'm not betting it, but if I was to go, I'd go with Reyes by KO like Sosa. Oh yeah, Sosa had that KO prop. I don't hate it. Reyes studied John Jones his whole career. Why he did so good, maybe. With Jerry's high-paced style and high output and keeping his hands down, do you think the under 1.5 is live? I do think that's live. I do think Reyes knocks him out in the first round. I think either guy's live for a first-round knockout as well. So yeah, I think it's live, but I'd rather get that extra round, the under 2.5. With you there, I like Reyes. Lost two really good fighters. That's true. Comes back with a KO here. I'm with you there. Jerry, pretty dope. I'm on the bandwagon. Yeah, I see that. You have the picture of him there. What does he have on his head there? Huh. It's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a war for sure. Reyes should have been the favorite. I'm with you. I think it should be the favorite. I really do think hype's built into the line. If anything, like, should be 50-50 fight. 50-50 on this one. Yeah, it's pretty much a 50-50 fight, to be honest. Definitely getting a discount on the KO on Reyes and KO inflation on Jerry. I agree. Yeah, very. The line's weird. I'm curious to see where it goes by fight time because I was expecting more Yuri money to come in, but it seems like the opposite is happening. It seems like there's a lot of people betting the Reyes side. William Hale won't let me bet the result round until the day that. Yeah, some of these bookies just take forever. On the athlete. It's his hair. Oh, yeah, it is. Yuri and Reyes both don't have iron chins. Under 2.5 for sure. Yeah, that's a play I really like. Really like. Just waiting for that line. They don't hit it. Ponytail. I think Reyes was not as focused. That's what it looked like. It looked like he wasn't focused because he was fighting outside the country. Another reason could be. I saw Yuri training with wrestlers, and I have a feeling that he is going to upset everyone with a Reyes submission. You think that Reyes is going to get a submission? Because the submission props are crazy. Procházka by submission +2,000. Dominic Reyes by submission +1,000. Yep, hype drives the line. It does drive the line for sure. So I'll quickly go over my plays. I know it sucks. I'm doing this on a Tuesday. I only have 4 plays. I will be adding like 2 or 3 more throughout the week. Just waiting on these bookies to get out the lines. As soon as they do, I'll get those plays out on Patreon and all that. I'll be posting all my plays on Saturday, and then my betting breakdown video will be out sometime tomorrow. But I do have a straight bet on Dominic Reyes plus 120, 1 unit bet on it. A second dog, TJ Brown plus 155, 1 unit on it. Parlay, I really like Strickland parlayed with Loma Luke Boonmi minus 119, 1.5 units on it. And then the under 2.5 rounds for Micheletis and KB Buehler minus 182 units on it. And I'll kind of tell you guys the plays I'm eyeing. May or may not bet them, but I really am eyeing these plays. I like Kolaris possibly by submission. I'm waiting to see what the odds are for that. If it's a good price, I think it's a decent prop. Sanders has been finished by sub in 75% of his losses. Here's Benitez fight doesn't go to decision, minus 185, or maybe the under. I think it's at minus 160. I think that could be a good look. What do we got? I don't want to bet the Panero fight. Don't want to bet the Marcos fight. Batallio, don't want to bet that. Dvalishvili possibly by decision, or I think fight goes to decision. And like I said, I don't typically parlay props, but I think fight goes to decision's probably the way to look. Even where the line's at now, like minus 160, I think the fight goes to decision more often than not. Don't want to bet on the Cuțelaba fight. Don't want to bet on the Chikadze fight. And then for the main event, I'm looking at the under 2.5 alternate line, or the fight doesn't go to decision as a parlay piece. I do like that parlay. Maybe like the fight doesn't go to decision, parlayed with the Marab fight goes to decision. I think that's a really solid play. I would have bet it already, but my book was not letting me parlay the props together, so I got to use my other book. Hopefully I can get those out by tomorrow. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out. We had a good crowd in here tonight for it being a Tuesday. I got to head out, get ready for Vegas. Should be fun. Got a ton of stuff to do as well. See what we got in the chat. Then we'll head out of here. I mean, it's he's going to submit Reyes, of course. Yeah, plus 2,000 for Yuri by submission, which is the second best submission prop on the entire card, right behind Dustin Jacoby. So that'd be crazy. Not sure if he gets a sub. Yeah, I'd be kind of surprised if that happened. Sanders prone to club and subs, not as much as sub. We've seen him sub before without the club, but I get what you mean. Thanks for hanging out, Noah. Thanks for hanging out, J-Rob. Brady, you going to Rolling Smoke in Vegas? I am not completely sure yet. Possibly. I don't know yet. I don't know what we're doing, honestly. I do know we're hitting up the casinos, watching some fights, going to a barbecue. Should be fun. All right, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you guys are seeing this in the future, make sure you guys tune into my betting breakdown video. It should be out very, very soon. No live stream on Friday, which sucks, but we'll be back at it next week. Hopefully get my content out next week around Wednesday. But yeah, as always, thanks for hanging out, guys. If you guys do want to sign up on the Patreon, I'd wait till the 1st of next month. That's when the billing recycle resets there. Then you'll get 4 cards in the span of a month, which is a great deal there. All right, guys, that's about it. And good luck. Talk to you guys soon.